What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. The Jose reign is really up and running now. 3 wins on the bounce for Tottenham Hotspur after a 3-2 win. Well, we've conceded a lot of goals. We've scored a lot of goals. We've scored 10 goals.
Conceded 6.
Conceded 6. No one would have said that in the Jose era.
No.
But look,
expecting 1-0 wins.
Look, I think yesterday was probably our best performance under Jose, all in all. But anyway, let's get into the player ratings. Starting off with GAZZANIGA, we gave him a 7. I thought it was a good performance from Gazza, probably his best out of the past 3 games, probably the most he's been tested. I thought in the first 15 minutes he made a couple of good saves, didn't have much to do for the next hour or so, and then got called back into action after that. But some good saves from Gazza and some good distribution as well.
I felt in that first 15 minutes he spilled a couple, but other than that, he was pretty good. I think what he has over Hugo is he's a bit more dominant in the penalty area. He's more likely to come for crosses. He's a bit more of a presence. He has that. I think he has that advantage over Hugo, but I think Hugo's a better shot stopper. But anyway, next up, Serge Aurier. We gave him a 7. Again, a good display from him. I think obviously going forward, he was a threat to Bournemouth. They didn't know how to deal with him. Jose was saying in the pre-match press conference how he wants to give him the freedom to attack. I think that's probably another way of saying he doesn't really want him in the opposite in our own penalty area. Probably it's a good tactic, get him as far away as our own penalty area as possible. And it was telling that the only times he got near to our penalty area, he nearly screwed up. He nearly gave away a penalty against Solanke, and there was a couple other instances where he was making me feel uneasy. But whenever he's attacking, he looks good.
Although I did feel he did make some nice tackles and some nice blocks back in our area, but yeah, attacking wise, he's looking really, really good. You can see the confidence is rising in Aurier as well, and he's putting good balls into the box and just providing a really good outlet on that right hand side. Moving on to Jan Vertonghen, we gave him an 8. I thought that is Jan Vertonghen's ideal position for me. I think, playing on the left hand side of a defence, drifting into a back 3, I think absolutely brilliant. And we've missed Jan, I thought, the past couple of weeks, and I think we looked a lot more defensively solid yesterday, and I think he was a big part of it. And obviously that challenge, that match-saving challenge in the last kick of the game, really
got us
3 points.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with that. I think could suit him that left back position. All right, next up, Toby Alderweireld. We gave him an 8, and it's lovely to see the Toby being back in action, back in full flow, and they were on point yesterday, absolutely on point, especially that one for the second goal, Dele Alli's second. Unbelievable accuracy to get it right on his chest, right on his to allow him the opportunity to control the ball and have that composure to finish. Brilliant by Toby, so underrated, and for the first goal as well. Ping it over to DAVINSON, who laid it off for Dele. Brilliant from Toby, and he really suits him being in that quarterback position, having 2 defenders either side of him, giving him that freedom to drive with the ball and pick out the pass. And we were lucky that Bournemouth didn't put too much pressure on him on those 2 moments, because it cost them dearly. And when teams leave a bit of space in behind, Toby has that quality to hurt them.
Yeah, and also, did you hear Toby's comments after the game on Spurs TV?
No.
He put an interview out on Spurs TV, but he was saying that Tottenham needs to stop being so childish, stop playing Hollywood balls when we're winning, and see out a game. And really interesting from Toby, because I thought Spurs played really well, apart from the first 15 and last 15 minutes. And it's really good to see stuff like that coming out from Toby, because that's a real leadership mentality, I thought.
Well, it's true, because if we would just played it simple for a lot of those moves late in the game, would have been 4 or 5. But we tried to be too clever, end up screwing it up.
He repeated it 2 or 3 times, that we need to stop being too clever, and we need to grow up. That's the words he said.
Good.
All right, moving on to Davinson Sanchez. We gave him an 8. I'm loving Davinson Sanchez under Mourinho. I think he's come on leaps and bounds in these last 3 games. I was one that's always kind of called him out for not being strong enough for a guy of his size, but I think he's really coming into his own now under Jose. And I think in the Bournemouth game, I think he was sensational, really. Probably not as good as Toby and Jan in this game, but still up there with the same rating. And he made some really important challenges, some really important blocks, especially one in the first half. as well. That if he doesn't make that, we could go 1-0 down. So I think really good display from Davinson.
Yeah, I've always said he looks better with Toby and Jan next to him in a back three. I think when he's got that experience and those calm heads next to him, and I think they don't let him lose his concentration. Whereas when he's in a two, he has more responsibility, and sometimes he doesn't deal well with it, and he can lose his concentration. So I think that's probably best for him to be in that role, and it's working out well for him so far.
And I also think that having a defensive-minded coach that's renowned for getting defenses, playing the way they should be playing, I think it will be so important for him, because everyone knows Jan and Toby's qualities, but Sanchez is an up-and-coming defender, so he's going to need guidance, and he's getting that.
All right, next up, Moussa Sissoko. We gave him a 9.
Oh, Moussa Sissoko.
Yeah, brilliant performance. I thought, even without his goal, I thought he was one of the best players on the pitch. Whenever he had the ball, he was driving past Bournemouth players. They couldn't deal with him. They couldn't get the ball off him. He was laying it off to players like Son and Dele to create chances. He was putting in the hard yards, going back the other way as well, as we all know he loves to do. And he was just all over the park. It was a great performance. And after all the uncertainty about whether he was going to be sidelined by Jose, whether he was going to be a pivotal part of his team, he showed that when called upon in that position, a bit further forward than usual, he's more than up to the challenge. And what a volley that was to cap off a great performance. Floating through the air like Van Basten dead Holloway. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. It was like how he seemed to hang in the air for like a minute, like a Matrix kind of thing.
A Cristiano Ronaldo header.
Yeah, it just seemed to hang in the air for ages, and then able to volley at home. Great finish, and he deserved all the chance he was getting and all the crowd getting with him. I think he deserved it.
Yeah, and it was like the scenes were so much when Sissoko scored. We were celebrating Sissoko's goal so much, didn't even realise Bournemouth had got that free kick and scored it.
Yeah,
it was like, man, we celebrated it for so long, and I'm so happy for the guy, and the team looks so happy for him as well. And I called out Jose and Sissoko for the kind of position he started in, and I didn't think he would have played well because he didn't really play well there under Poch. But boy, did they prove me wrong. What a performance it was from Sissoko. And like you said, they just couldn't deal with him. And
it was good, the link up between Serge and Sissoko. They've always been good on the same side, so I think they like that together.
Yeah, and this moves us on to Eric Dier. We gave him a 6. I thought still kind of wayward passing, losing the ball a bit, but I would say one positive thing about Dier is that he, I saw the stats and he ran the most out of everyone in the team. So it's an interesting one.
It's better. It shows he's getting more mobile and he's getting his fitness back, but his passing still so much to be desired, especially in the first half. So sloppy. Every time he got the ball, he seemed to give it away every time, and it was really frustrating.
I mean, yeah, on the ball, his quality's not that great, but I think off the ball, he does a lot of good work for the team. So
yeah, we know that. We know he could do that.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Tanguy Ndombele. We gave him a 6 as well. A quieter performance. We didn't see too much of him in terms of his dribbling ability. We know that he has. His passing was a bit more accurate. It was a bit better, but Tonguy's at his best when he's at his most inventive, when he's getting on the ball and driving past players, getting a few tricks, and then setting up attacks. He wasn't awful, but it just wasn't. The Ndombele we can see we know he has like an extra level to go up, and that's all. And I remember when we were speaking to the Lyon fan about him, and he said the biggest criticism he has is sometimes in the smaller games like this he can be a bit more inconsistent, but always in the big games he turns up. So I think this is we're seeing that a bit from Tanguy.
Yeah, but I think Tanguy yesterday, I thought he was good in flashes.
Yeah.
There were moments of brilliance there from Tanguy, but there was also moments of kind of just sitting back and not doing much. But I don't know if that was kind of Jose's instructions of being very regimented in the midfield.
He seemed to keep it simple, didn't he?
Yeah, he kept it very simple. So I don't know if that was kind of down to Jose's instructions or Tanguy, but all in all, he didn't stay on for the 90 minutes, so who knows. But that brings us on to Dele Alli. We gave him a 9. Absolutely sensational from Del Boy yet again. That's 3 man-of-the-match performances in a row under Jose. The guy has completely been reborn. I thought in the first 2 games under Jose, Dele kind of kept it simple and did his thing, but I think today you saw the proper Dele of old with the tricks and the flicks, and I think they were all coming off, like everything, and he was completely unplayable. Got 2 goals. And long may it continue with Dele because he is just sensational.
He was involved in the third goal as well, laying off for Son, who crossed the ball. You're right. He's just such a joy to watch when he's in this kind of mood. And Jose said in his first press conference when he joined the club, he said, Dele's come back from injury and we can't expect him to just come in and be man of the match straight away. And that's
he's done 3.
That's 3 man of the matches in a row. So maybe Dele's just trying to prove him wrong on that front because clearly he can. He is just, we haven't seen this form for a while from Dele. I think the shackles have been let off him. I think Pochettino was playing him in a bit of a deeper role. I think more out of necessity than it was because he didn't feel like Dele's best position was further forward. He did think that. I just think he knew that our central midfield options last season were so limited that he needed someone in there who could compete on the football pitch, and that's where he put Dele. But Jose's recognised his best position is further forward behind the striker when he has creativity, when he has that freedom, and we're just seeing that borne out at the moment. He's been absolutely exceptional, and when he's in this kind of mood, you can't stop him.
Yeah, and I love the comments from Mourinho after the game. Was like, Dele, I don't need to talk about Dele.
No,
everyone else is talking about Dele. But then he was also said, like you just said, that it's simple. Just play him in his favourite position, just behind Harry Kane, and you reap the benefits.
Only bad thing is he probably should have got more. He probably should have had a hat trick at least.
Definitely, there was that chance was probably easier than his second shot. That second goal.
Oh man, wow!
Absolutely brilliant.
Out of this world. The
absolutely
touch,
brilliant.
The quick feet to get away from the defender, and the little chip over the keeper. Exceptional. And any striker in the Premier League would have been proud of that goal.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a young attacking midfielder who's. His goal scoring rate in Spurs, even given his bad form over the year, it's like 125 appearances, like 76 goals and assists. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
How old is he now?
He's 23. Yeah. Put some respect on his name.
100%.
Put some respect on his name.
Exactly. All right, moving on to Heung-min Son. We gave him an 8. Another absolutely brilliant performance from Heung-min Son on the left-hand side. 2 assists. The assist for the first goal. Was it the first goal when he just tapped it over to Dele from that lovely Toby Alderweireld long ball? Absolutely brilliant. I thought he was causing Bournemouth trouble pretty much all day long. Him and Dele work so well together. They're electric together. And then you got Harry Kane up there as well to add into the mix. So what more can I say about Heung-min Son? Every game is just like better and better, to be honest.
Yes, Son on that left-hand side, I think he does play well. However, I do worry that he could suffer a bit from burnout the longer he plays that role, because he does have to do a lot of tracking back, and he's kind of, because Jan is kind of tucked in, he has to do a lot of tracking back on that wing, and if he doesn't, we're going to get caught out there, which is a worry. But I think for the time being, he's obviously at his best when he's further forward, obviously we know that, and when he gets in those positions to link up with Dele and with Kane, he's just irresistible. And he got 2 brilliant assists. That assist for Sissoko's as well with his left foot, lovely whipped ball for Sissoko to bury home on the volley. Really, really good stuff. He might be a bit annoyed with himself that he didn't get a goal in the game after
definitely.
He had a couple of good chances which he wasted. But I think he was tiring. You could see that quite visibly. He was tiring through the end of the game, and I worry that that could be an issue for him if he continues playing that role. But we'll see how it goes, because it's working well at the moment.
Moving back to your point about him tiring because he has to track back a lot, I think Eric Dier helps him out a lot in that sense, because Eric Dier is the one kind of shielding there. So I think you might have a case, but I think long term, I think Eric Dier should be the one like slotting back in there and helping him out. But
I hope so.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, last on the first 11, we got Harry Kane. We gave him a 7. Decent display from him. He had a couple of decent chances in the first half, forcing a good save from Ramsdale. Obviously the link-up play between him and Dele and Son, really, really good stuff. He seemed to drop back a lot deeper in this kind of game. But both times when Dele, in both goal instances, you could see he was actually quite deep, and Dele was the one running beyond the last man. I think that must have been deliberate to create space for them to run in behind. So he must have done a job for the team, which is always good to see. But obviously, I'd love to see him more involved in the goal action, which is we know is where he can hurt the opposition the most.
Yeah, so trust me to bring in Harry Kane and put him captain in my team for the 1 week he doesn't score. But hey ho, we won anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But I thought there was a couple of moments in the game where you just found Harry Kane on the halfway line winning the ball back, and that is exactly what you want to see from Harry Kane. All action performance, and I think that when you're talking about one of the best strikers in the world, you don't really think about the dirty work they do, winning the ball back in the middle of the park and spraying the ball. So I think a lot of the work that Harry Kane does goes unnoticed, and just because he didn't score doesn't mean he didn't have a good game.
In terms of tracking back and tackling, he seemed to lost that in his last few months under Pochettino.
Exactly.
He wasn't doing it with the Harry Kane we know and love pressing from the front. He didn't seem to be that striker, and we thought maybe he's just adapted his game because of the injuries and whatever. But clearly, he is still that player when we need him to be, and he was that player yesterday.
But it's like Jose has looked at the best versions of each of these players and just basically try to get them to back to doing what they were doing, you know what I mean, about a year ago.
That's why he's got Aurier far away from our box as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, and moving on to Jose, we gave him an 8. I thought he swapped up the team sufficiently well.
Yeah.
Obviously, he swapped out Lucas for Sissoko, which I thought it was harsh on Lucas, but Lucas did come on and did well. He said it was harsh on Lucas after the game as well. But so you got to give him credit that Sissoko came in and did a fantastic job. He put in Jan Vertonghen for Rose, which was a great move. I thought that really suits Jan Vertonghen that role. To tuck in and he can attack when he need. If we know he can play left back. Last season he played there. We don't want him to play there too many times because of his age, but we know he can do that role. I thought that was a good move. But other than that, he pretty much kept it the same, and I thought he's working well. Especially he's clearly getting the best out of Aurier. The only problem is, obviously, that those defensive frailties at the end of the game, he just has to sort out, and he has to figure out why that this keeps happening, because he's got to cut this out sooner rather than later. Yeah,
in terms of the defensive frailties, I think you could give Mourinho a bit of slack, obviously, because he hasn't had that much time to work with the players, let's be honest. And I think it will happen over time, but I think in terms of the attacking play, second to none at the moment. I think it's the best attacking play we've seen in a while at Spurs. The counter-attacking play with Heung-min, Harry Kane dropping deep, Moussa Sissoko, absolutely sensational. Obviously, Dele Alli in the thick of everything at the moment. And you can just see Mourinho just installed that confidence back in the team.
A new formation, a bit creative formation as well.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm happy with everything Jose is doing at the moment, and the noises he's making in the press as well. Really good. And he said that he made 3 or 4 changes for this game, and he'll make 3 or 4 changes for the next game as well.
Good. I like to see him use the squad. Yeah,
like I said, he hasn't been here for that long, so he doesn't know who the best starting 11 he's got yet. So everyone's playing for him, and everyone wants to be in that starting 11. So it's only good things.
All right, Jose 2.0.
Exactly.
He's on it. All right, love it.
Any mention on the subs? Giovanni Lo Celso came on for this
5 minutes again
for his first appearance under Jose.
Again, I feel a bit sorry for him because he just did it. He's only got 5 minutes under his belt, and he didn't have enough time to do much on the ball. But hopefully he'll get more time under Jose. There was rumours actually that apparently he has slowed down the process of a permanent deal for Lo Celso. I don't know if it's true, but that's just what the papers are saying. So maybe he's not convinced of him.
I thought it was a compulsory.
What I'm reading now is it's compulsory if we get Champions League.
Okay.
So if we get top 4, it's compulsory.
So it's compulsory.
Exactly. But we'll see. Look, I like the look of Lo Celso, but I said before, I fear that his progress of settling in could be slowed down by the sacking of Poch, but whatever, that could be the price we paid.
Yeah, and obviously Lucas Moura coming on, I thought he did all right.
He did good. He did really good when he came on. I love when sometimes Lucas, when he's dribbling at a full pelt and he does things which is just you marvel at.
Yeah.
But I think he's a great sub to come on, and he's a good option to have, obviously, and he's done well so far whenever Jose scored upon him.
Anyone else come on yesterday?
Can't remember anyone. Wings came on for a minute also. Other than that, no.
All right, so we move on to Manchester United away on Wednesday night. The return of Jose to Old Trafford. He's going to get lost stick up there, isn't he?
I'm looking forward to it. It should be in a good atmosphere.
Yeah, it's going to be a good atmosphere. It's going to be a good night. Let's hope Jose can carry on his 100% record in the lily white colours. Like, subscribe and comment and tell us what you thought of the ratings. And as always,
come on, you Spurs.